All right. Good morning, cyber traders. Welcome on back here this Wednesday. I had to make sure I keep track of my weekdays at this point with President's Day on Monday. I tripped myself up already yesterday. Today is, in fact, indeed Wednesday, February 19th. I was about to lose track of my numbers there. The 19th, at least. Great to have Margaret, Farzad, Patrick. Great to see the thumbnail Patrick joining us here. One of our new gold students added his picture right there to the chat. Great to see him. Andrea, who did as well. And Michael, Richard, Leda, all of our students right now just joining us, on top. And as well as them, all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. Fausto on vacation, soaking in the sun, I believe in Aruba, if I'm not mistaken. So perhaps tuning in right now, welcome Fausto, and welcome all of us otherwise on YouTube, Facebook Live, etc. Just hit the follow or subscribe button down below. At cybertradingu is our handle. We go live each and every morning. And then, of course, today, actually, we have a live workshop coming up at 12 o'clock Eastern. Great to see Louis A. joining us on YouTube as well. Top of the morning there to you. And hey, good afternoon if you're joining us, perhaps if you're Claire over in South Africa, Johannesburg, South Africa, or all of our students otherwise internationally, time zone aside. So with that said, the JTAI trade at least made a nice little push before, but I'll tell you, it's been a crappy pre-market. Real crappy pre-market. You had one or two like runners, but aside from SMCI, which was more expensive, if you're looking for that, inexpensive pop, looking for a nice runner in pre-market, well, you got a couple pops, but they didn't really run. They didn't continue and have good trend. That was the disappointing part. For example, TRN, right? I mean, you could just tell right away. Thing popped at 7:30 in the morning. It was on, just didn't really do anything, right? Maybe we'll come back to this as we scan throughout our list here in the morning. What else did we have? RSLS. It was kind of slumping off even going into the 8 o'clock move, but it was slower. It had grim. I'll just do a quick log out, log back in social media, but I might be having a quick little hiccup here just inside the trading room. Just give me a quick moment. All right, test 1 2 1 2 for all of us inside the live trading room. Just give me a quick sound check. Hopefully I'm good now. Got a live workshop coming up 12 o'clock Eastern time. Better be good. Good now? All right, little hiccup from my end. We're good to go, right? Perfect. All right, now I'm going to be paranoid all morning at least, but you let me know otherwise. Now, with that said, RSLS, I was talking about, hey, this was more of a dud at least after the 8 o'clock move. It was kind of slumping off here at first, but at least was slower. It had good volume on the order book, so we were hopeful, okay, maybe it's more category 1 or 2 stock, and ended up just dying off. Cuts in and out on YouTube as well. I should be good to go on YouTube at least. If I'm not good on YouTube, just keep letting me know. I'll just log out there. But otherwise, though, just this morning was kind of crappy. Even some of the others that we ended up calling out shortly after 8 o'clock, scanned throughout the morning. They didn't really make that clean continued move up. What was the other one that we were calling out, Rich? We had the OSRH. Popped up a little bit here after about 20 minutes of just flat consolidation, 30 minutes of flat consolidation. Didn't really get too far. What else was the ALZN? I took a loss on this. I was on a coaching call with a student earlier, and after 8 o'clock in the morning, we saw this breakout. I thought there was a case to see at least support build off of 170. Broke under, never broke back over, and from there, it was just essentially catching a falling knife. So with that, overall, not really a great morning. I mean, even such, the JTAI was probably our best move so far. And, hopefully this continues. We're going to put this on our watch list, at least to begin here, no matter what. If it dumps off afterwards, we'll move on. But for right now, it's sticking. Pretty inexpensive stock. Order book is starting to fill in a little bit more here. It was really thin and with a big spread beforehand on this first pop and big shakedown afterwards here. This is pretty damn volatile to begin. So just because it's flat now doesn't mean it's going to remain that way. Just make sure the order book continues. The more it's filled in, the less it shakes. But for right now, at least the JTAI will list. All right, the trade's kind of garbage, very flat right now after 8 o'clock too. Again, maybe this one I'll put on our main watch list here going into the open. But instead, what I want to do, though, is go over a couple stocks that we did pretty well on from yesterday first, see if they're still holding at least, maybe good swing trades going forward too coming up. Intel made a very nice trend up, at least throughout the course of the morning, then much better pop into the afternoon. This was all but a Fausto flag here, right? Essentially built with higher lows. Resistance was holding, so maybe off this here, you could say it was building up, led to a nice breakout afterwards, and then from there ended up running pretty nicely. So Intel be on our side list here going into the morning. Maybe if it pops back up again, we'll call it out, but we'll see what's out there otherwise here. It's kind of down this morning about 3.5%, a little bit flat the last 30 minutes. So if it builds support, bounces back up, we'll be keen to call it out, but let's just focus on others at first. JetBlue. Probably same to be said here, not trading nearly as much activity or volume this morning in the pre-market hours, but this was a great run from yesterday. I mean, you can see, obviously, the chart speaks for itself pretty much all the way through. One little pullback here heading into like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. But the talking point on this one was the gap on the daily chart. This all but filled, right? This basically filled every inch of it here, right? Got close to it for the most part. Ended up just going up towards about 780-ish. And then now this morning, it might look to push up higher and fill that gap officially. So the JetBlue, I'll probably keep on our side list here as well going into the open. If you're already in it as a swing trade, then congratulations. But otherwise, at least that's where I'll just say I'll check back in with it if we need to. This one as well, edit. This called out maybe yesterday morning session as far as a potential swing trade. It needed to hold over 150 as support. And so far, it's obviously pushing a little higher here to begin. But even if it has a down day today, tomorrow, as long as it remains over this like area here, I'd even say this peak. I kind of wrote to Luis and a few of us here in the chat yesterday at like 153 area. So just loosely, if it holds this area as support, then I think that there's a case for there to be a better move ahead. So at least going back to this one, EDIT, edit, nice slow stock, a little day trade move. This might be a better swing trade than a day trade, because of how slow it kind of is. It's up this morning about 9%. Could I put this on our main list? I can. I just want to go from top to bottom first. Don't be surprised if you see it on our list here at the end of it all. What else we got? SMCI is already on our list at this point. That's like running up perfectly in pre-market. APPS was a little short that we had heading into the afternoon. Oh, we had the RX stocks, the pharmacy stocks, maybe the pharmaceutical therapeutic stocks out there. What was it? PRFX. A little pop in pre-market. It was more of a pop and drop move at least, but now you can see obviously going lower. And then RXRX. This was a nice little move, I think, from even the day before heading into the morning yesterday. Yeah, from Friday into last week. This was more just into yesterday morning. Popped up at first, but short-lived. Unfortunately, didn't hold support. No higher lows, and then just crumbled. So, hey, this is kind of similar to the ALZN trade that I took a loss on just before, because simply put, if it's not going to hold support where it should, it's going to crumble. Case in point. From Richard in the chat here, before we scan our list here, did ASBI or Grab turn into a swing? Oh, yeah, I'm still in Grab. Yeah, I've been in Grab from 477. See that there on the top right. But going over that from yesterday as well, this is definitely more of a swing trade than a day trade because of how freaking slow it is. I think this is like a 4 billion share float, so it's going to be pretty slow, right? That's good, though, for a swing trade. That's what you want to see. I'm going to cover a lot of that, Richard, in Traders Talk earlier today or later on today. I need my coffee. I'm on the coffee list right now. But that's just where I'll tell you at least more about our swing trade mentality, what we look for in a swing trade. First tip here, at least for all of us, you don't want it to be too fast. So if Grab is slow, that is fine by me for a swing trade. ABSI, I'm not in. I have no position on ABSI. I was saying that this does look like a good swing trade chart, though. Going back from October of 23 into now, really a year and a half time, built strong higher lows, and more so now because of the bounce back up. You can kind of say it was breaking local lower lows up until like December. But since December, it's been looking really strong. So we'll keep this in mind. A little spotty here today. It's up 1%, dropped off a lot from yesterday at least. So we'll check back in on the stock if we need to. But good reminder. I appreciate you bringing the ABSI back up just to kind of bring it back in. But I'm going to kind of put it towards the back side of our watch list for right now, or kind of our B list. Let's just scan at least from top to bottom right now, see what we can build up. So the SINT trade at this point, right? Does it hurt for us to add SINT? No, because it's at least holding, right? Now the question is this a buyout? I see the JTAI still popping up. So that, of course, we already have on our list. The SINT trade, is this like a buyout because of how flat it is? They announced the issuance of patent number 122396761. I don't know what that means, but by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So no buyout. I guess they announced a patent. But obviously really flat here. Normally, if this was a buyout, we wouldn't put it on our list because normally it's going to just stay like this. The hope, at least, is for this to pop up afterwards when the market opens up. If it just dumps off, then just write it off. Simple as that. But it will go on our watch list, at least for now. Now, hey, if you're on YouTube right now, Facebook Live, let me know if the sound is good, the audio is good. Had a small little hiccup just before, but if it is good, just make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button down below at CyberTradingU. See a bunch more of us just joining us right now at this point going into the market open. So if you're not followed or subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, just hit that button right down there. But otherwise, we'll keep it going. So OSRH, I mean, again, this is kind of the story of the whole morning. Just low energy, low momentum on the way up, and then lower highs afterwards. So I'm not as keen to put this on our main list just yet. If it pops afterwards when the market opens up, then of course subject to change. But I want to focus on stocks that look like JTAI. This SEDG was looking pretty good as far as the chart goes. So I'm going to add this to our list. The only thought on this stock, though, is just that the order book is pretty thin. That's pre-market now. So hopefully once the market opens up in about 18 minutes here, you're going to see this fill in a lot more. If not, then I would call it more of a category 3 to 4 stock. But this is as clean of a trend as you could ever ask for. Whatever the news is out on this SEDG trade, it just goes to say we're not going to trade the news. We're going to trade the chart. We're going to trade the volume. So we love the chart. Watch out for the volume here. Need to see more orders join the book. But for now, it makes the cut. TRNR, like the volume here, but I don't want to hang my hat on maybe, potentially, might, right? If we did that, we would build up a freaking 200 stock watch list. You know what I mean? So there's a ton of stocks I can hang my hat on, maybe, potentially on, more speculative. NIVF, at least, from 830 into the open, it's been bouncing. At least this has some recovery. I'll give it a shot. NIVF at least has better momentum going back upward now at this point. Whatever news came out that led to the after hours run up, hopefully, keep seeing higher lows, hopefully flips this little resistance into a support, and otherwise goes from there. All right, we keep it moving here. We'll skim down here pretty fast, right? I mean, Serve made a nice bounce back up. The news out on this stock that led to the crash. Big crash from the end of last week. NVIDIA backed out on a bunch of different positions, right? On Serve, on Soon, and then on another one, I think NNOX, if I'm not mistaken. Well, at least one of them does not look like the others, right? I mean, Serve is up 14% today, whereas the others are like not doing anything. So maybe there was additional news out on top for Serve. Let me just double check. Don't have as much time now before the open. We want to make sure our students are prepped up here. A company announced the launch of its services in the Miami metro area. Where's Yehuda? Where's one of our platinum students, diamond students, in fact? Yehuda, you hear about this? Serve Robotics, he's living in Miami. Let us know about Serve. Let us know about them if you can get us some intel. They launched their services in the Miami metro area. Additionally, the company announced the expansion of its partnership with Shake Shack. I know them at least. My fat ass knows Shake Shack, that's for sure. No, I'm kidding. And a new partnership with Mr. 01 Extraordinary Pizza. Okay, I don't know them at least. But yeah, for right now, nice push up heading into the market open. We like the chart. We are familiar with Serve. So this goes on top of our list, definitely. ALZN done. We'll keep it going. Yehuda says here in the chat, little robots rolling around Miami. Like the Jetsons, really? Interesting. I might be making my way over to Miami in a couple months. We'll see. Possible speculative. Something that definitely is speculative, Celsius. All right. If you follow myself personally on Twitter, which I mean, hey, don't, because I don't really provide too much. But I've been hating on Celsius for a little while, since maybe like a few months back. But I've been seeing these like large accounts on Twitter, on X, that have been promoting Celsius, the stock, like, oh, it's going to fly back upward. They've been talking about this thing since July, since August time. And they're still talking about it as if like it's going to happen and they're going to make a boatload of money on it. And if they do, great. But this is where we say you don't want to just hold your breath waiting for a move that's never going to happen. Because in the time that Celsius dropped off like 50% from July, August time, even, you could have used your money in so many much better ways. Bitcoin, the AI stocks, the robotic stocks, etc. Right? So Celsius has earnings actually on Thursday after the close this week. All right, well, that sounds kind of normal, right? They announced that they're going to report their earnings just yesterday. Most companies declare an earnings date about a month in advance, right? Don't you normally know that, like, Celsius declaring their earnings date just 2 days out? That's like a shock. I don't get good juju from that. I mean, it's up 6 to 7% this morning at least. So we'll put it on our day trading watch list for right now. I'm not confident in this. It really is a swing trade as much. If it pops, I'll congratulate anyone that was holding on to a fat bag, but you don't want to get stuck hoping and holding. It's as simple as that. Chuck saying the audio fading in and out. Rich, you let me know. Rich, you let me know here. Be my judge. All right, we'll keep it moving though pretty quick, because we got to make sure that we have enough time for the open. So FFIE, this is kind of more hope. It's up 7%, so maybe it could pop, but it's a cheap stock, so any shakedown, it's going to not be up nearly as much. I'll call it out if it starts to make a better push. I'm not going to add it to our list just yet. And then everything else here so far looking kind of weak, lackluster, gapped up maybe like some of the Chinese stocks, but no trend to them so far. Ooh, Run has a nice trend. This will push up on this one here. Run, it's up nearly 5%. So I was going to stop in my tracks there at this point, but it's having a slight little move up. Another energy company, Array, doing pretty good here. Enphase, another energy company, doing pretty. So it looks like the energies are doing pretty nicely so far. I know the market had a nice push yesterday. We're setting up for a nice push going into the open, or at least we were. Shaking back down a little bit right now, but looking overall on the daily, like built over long term, higher lows and just teasing the resistance breakout here. We pretty much started to see it yesterday. So as long as we continue with these higher lows, I can only expect a better pop ahead. All right, there wasn't much more that I liked from the gainer side, at least. So Chuck, Patrick, Chris, Marcella, Kathleen, any of our students here in chat, you let me know if anything else looks good. Keep it rolling though here for right now. CE, Bumble down big. A lot of the dating app sites. I think there's one that's doing good. What was it, Grindr or something? Bumble down big. I'm not a big fan of those like dating app stocks. They're social media stocks. Some people might get drawn into them. They don't normally trade good volume. So if this starts to pull back lower after the open, hey, I'll call it out. It is shortable at least, but I feel like there could be better opportunities to shorts this morning. Let's see. Okay, a low from yesterday dropped off heading into the afternoon, breaking lower this morning. So, that might be one. Intel continuing to slump off a little bit here too. I wouldn't deem this a short though. They came off good news. I know that Trump's trying to bring the semiconductor market more back into the U.S., regain market share. That screams bullish for Intel. I wouldn't be jumping out of my seat to short Intel just yet. It's down 4% from the close yesterday, but this might be more of a bounce. All right, you know what? We might only need just one, right? We have a few stocks on our list already, of course, but JTAI, if that just keeps popping and popping and popping, then right? There's no need to build up a big watch list when we got this one already ripping and running. So, yep, continuing to run right there, Yehuda, definitely. I guess I'll just check out the scan one last time here before we finish up. There's the JTAI. None of these I'm familiar with. There's the edit trade, slower stock. If you want me to put edit on our main watch list because we called it out yesterday, it's up a little bit this morning. Like, I'll do that. That's all right. Pretty slow stock, EDIT. Everything else is more speculative. Everything else is more 50-50. Maybe potentially TRNR can pop back up. Maybe potentially Cint can pop back up. Right? So if they do, we'll call it out. Otherwise, I want to focus on the ones that have better direction going into the open. Serve live LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works, at least heading into the early afternoon. We have a live workshop here, Traders Talk. So even further, one last time for this morning, hit the follow or subscribe button below. If you're interested in joining us inside our live trading room, go right down to the link scrolling below that too, ctu.co/trial. You could also scan the QR code on the top right. But otherwise, we do a live workshop each and every week. We normally do it on Mondays, just with President's Day. We pushed it to today, Traders Talk. So we'll be doing that at 12 o'clock, simulcast inside our live trading room and on YouTube. Now, if you're a student, Bill, Margaret, Lynn and Randy, Kerry, a lot of us here just joining us. Remember, not only do we have Traders Talk today, I'm a marathon man today, folks. We got class. We got the Phase 1 stock course coming up. We got a full hour of audio commentary here too. Got to make sure my tongue remains untied. But at 10:30 Eastern this morning, we actually have live classes, part of our main curriculum, the Phase 1 stock course. So, we're going to continue to go through our platform, go over more charting aspects, discussing trends, discussing just the actual charts that we do happen to use. So we're not digging into like the real advanced stuff at this point just yet. We're still going through the beginning, the basics. So definitely a great time to be a part of CTU, a great time to be a student. So especially for members like Carrie and Margaret, Bill, Yehuda, Claire, Phil, a lot of us just joining us here in chat. That'll be at 10:30 Eastern time this morning. We'll post the link for you just coming up. Got a little bit of time until then at least. So hey, best of luck trading going into the market open for all of us here. And then, hey, we'll be back on just right at the market open for all of us inside our room.